The upcoming Superman movie could challenge Donald Trump's recent political policies as James Gunn maps out plans for the new DC. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn is busy preparing for the release of the highly anticipated Superman movie that will mark a new dawn for the DCU. Ahead of the film's release, Gunn and his DC Studios co-head Peter Safran recently conducted a press meet where the two shared updated plans for the franchise and details about new projects. During the press meeting, Gunn was also asked about his take on Superman in the context of the political landscape in America with Donald Trump returning to the presidency. In response, Gunn's hinted the character was the perfect antidote for a politically divided America. Here is what Gunn had to say about Superman and the future of the DCU. James Gunn is the current co-head of DC Studios, with the filmmaker recently conducting a press meet where he detailed the studio's upcoming plans. During the event, Gunn spoke with Variety about his next directorial venture Superman, which will be released in July, 6 months after Donald Trump's re-election. In his conversation with the press, Gunn was asked what Trump's return to power meant for Superman as a character, especially with Gunn attempting to bring a new and updated take on the iconic superhero. He's a character that stands for something that is solid, for basic human morals, basic human integrity, the basic belief in protecting others, the weak, and being good to people and being honest. He stands for what I think of as the rules that don't change. Gunn made the above statement, explaining that he did not think Superman was a part of the current cultural movement in America. The filmmaker elaborated that the character's ideas and morals were universal in nature and not restricted to political discourse at a certain point in time. Therefore, Gunn's comments heavily implied that the upcoming film could prove to be an antidote to the more radical political circumstances that have created a divided America. Since his return to power, Trump has passed several executive orders and policies that have targeted people of color and other minorities. As a result, Gunn was asked whether these real-world political events would affect the degree of diversity in the new DCU. In response, Gunn treaded rather carefully, admitting that while he understood where the question stemmed from, he personally wasn't following much of the news from Trump's new tenure primarily because he was busy running a new studio. He said, "I've been off working on stories for 3 years, and I just try to tell the best stories I possibly can, and that's all I care about." Gunn's comment suggests that the DCU will largely remain unaffected by Trump's seemingly anti-diversity policies. However, the filmmaker also did not directly voice a need for diversity in the DCU, arguing that the goal was to simply tell the best stories possible with the characters at his disposal. Therefore, it will be interesting to see how the new DCU pans out and whether its fate will be affected the political upheaval in the country. Guardian of the Galaxy star Chris Pratt teases potential Star-Lord return to the MCU, while James Gunn's return seems impossible. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. While Pratt's journey with the Guardian team concluded in 2023 with Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 3, he acknowledged the significant challenges of continuing Star-Lord's story. Despite the promise of a return, the path forward is complicated as James Gunn departed Marvel to lead DC Studios. Chris Pratt has hinted that his iconic character, Star-Lord/Peter Quill, may return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the upcoming Avengers movies. During the red carpet premiere of The Electric State, Pratt expressed openness to reprising the role of Star-Lord. Chris Pratt has teased his potential return as Star-Lord to the MCU, but with certain conditions. In an exclusive interview with Comic Book during the red carpet premiere of Netflix's The Electric State, Pratt expressed his enthusiasm for reprising the role. The actor acknowledged the significant challenges that would come with continuing the Star-Lord story without the guiding hand of director James Gunn. When asked about donning the character again, either in the direction of Gunn or Russo, Pratt said, "Of course, I would love to do it with James, but he's got a conflict of interest that makes that impossible at the moment, of course." He acknowledged the creative difficulty that Marvel Studios would face if they chose to continue Star-Lord's journey without Gunn. However, Pratt showed his interest in joining the MCU by saying, "I don't know, I'm open to anything. It would have to be great storytelling and it would be really tough." He's got big shoes to fill, setting a high bar for any potential return. Or he might appear in Gunn's DC universe, as he said, "Well, we'll see." Gunn's departure from Marvel to lead DC Studios has raised questions about the future of the Guardians characters, who were shaped by his distinctive view. Without Gunn at the helm, any future Guardians of the Galaxy project would face a significant challenge in capturing the same magic. While there is a clear intention for Marvel Studios to bring Star-Lord back, the path forward remains uncertain. During an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Pratt was asked about the possibility of reprising his Star-Lord role in the upcoming Avengers movies, Avengers, Doomsday or Avengers, Secret War. In response, Pratt confirmed that while Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 marked the end of the Star-Lord arc, there was still an implicit promise that the character would return. For people who know the Marvel world, Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 3 was the last time you saw Star-Lord in there. There was a promise that Star-Lord would return. All I can say is we will make good on that promise. While Doomsday and Secret Wars slated in 2026 and 2027 are still shrouded in mystery, it's clear that Marvel Studios intend to keep Star-Lord's story alive, potentially in a larger ensemble setting. These upcoming movies, directed by the Russo brothers, could provide the ideal environment for Star-Lord to appear once again, maybe in a different setting. The conclusion of Guardians Volume 3 left Star-Lord's story deliberately open-ended with post-credit scene, the legendary Star-Lord will return. After the disbanding of the Guardian team, Quill returned to Earth to reconnect with his grandfather, a move that seemed a significant potential new chapter for the character. Marvel Studios has multiple ways to incorporate Star-Lord back into the MCU. He could appear in the upcoming ensemble movies, or he might get a solo project, as hinted by the post-credit scene. However, Pratt's recent remark suggests he would approach such an offer cautiously if Gunn is not involved. Until then, Pratt continues his work outside Marvel, starring in Russo brothers-directed Netflix's The Electric State. Unlike Superman, fans will have to stick around for a while before getting a peek at Jason Momoa's DCU reveal. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Not long after the production of Superman commenced, fans were given a first look at David Corenswet's Kal-El, which made sense as the bulk of the outside shoot was taking place in Cleveland, making them prone to leaks. However, with Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, whose filming began last month, it seems fans will have to wait a tad bit longer for the first reveal. With Jason Momoa finally stepping in the shoes of Lobo, a role he has been desiring since his DCU days, Gunn cleared the air surrounding a potential first look at Lobo in the upcoming sci-fi epic. Opposed to Superman, whose latter half of the production took place in a heavily crowded city, most of Millie Alcock's Supergirl will be filmed indoors as the story for almost its entirety takes place in space. Understandably, this has further diluted the risk of leaks, and James Gunn is not shying away from keeping fans on edge about Jason Momoa's DCU look via comic book movie. It's probably going to be a while, to be frank with you, because it's all in outer space. With Superman, we were sort of forced because we knew we were going to shoot outside for weeks. Like, oh, let's just throw something out there. So we did. But with Jason, I'm not sure. I don't want to be cocky, because you never know. It's not a big. We're not going to have to go shoot outside in the middle of London for 3 weeks where they're going to be getting pictures of Lobo, so we have to release a picture earlier than we'd want to. Compared to Lobo, we might get Supergirl's reveal relatively earlier, as before her own sci-fi adventure, Alcock will make her DCU debut in